Hey folks, it's April the 30th, 2018. I made a video just about 2 months ago, something like that, about the MAC5200. And this is a redo. This is what I call lessons learned. What I tried to do was augment this 3 horsepower, 5.2 gallon unit up to 55 gallons and ended up paying the price through overtaxed capacitors. That's what happens. The thermal switch protects the armature and the heat of the motor and over amperage, but the capacitors are sacrificed by disregarding the duty cycle, which is 50% on this thing. They are located underneath this shroud, which is no easy task to supply. And I'm a mechanic, so, and you would think this crazy thing about it is I'm just one of those knuckleheads that experiments and tries a little bit of everything. I've been building jet engines for 40 years, and I specialize in compressors and low pressure turbines, high pressure turbines, and especially the high pressure compressor. And turbine technology, I understand. This induction motor, it's not turbine technology. It's pretty straightforward though, and come to find out that you just can't disregard the design parameters on these tools. Got this MAC5200 for 300 bucks, and which was 150 buck discount depending on where you looked, and it turned right back around and spending 50 bucks on this start capacitor and 89 or something like that on that run capacitor. So there goes the discounted price. But live and learn. I came out to the smell of hot rubber and a humming noise after inadvertently leaving the motor switch on for about 6.5, 7 hours. And at that point, I'd had the 10-gallon tank and two 20-gallon tanks per volume, because it works so well. These two tanks worked well together, so I figured, what the hell, I'll add another 20 gallons, and I've got them up in my attic now. So the whole thing was to get around using 220 service on that 230 volt speed air ball air motor. I'm glad. I'll tell you what, it came this close to selling that leaking tank speed air 20-gallon unit for 75 bucks. That motor is worth 450 bucks. So what I did is took a Sawzall and took the platform off top of that tank and stuck it up here in the attic, cleaned it all up, new belt, ran lines, plumbing. Now these won't hold any air overnight, so one of the lines I haven't got taped right, and I'll have to get all that plumbing straightened out. But that's probably what happened when I had them vertically set at the end of the table down there, and I had everything all plumbed up to run through that little Makita down there. And I'm sure, because when I came in, the cylinder on the Makita was hot. I could put my hand on it, but it had been running. So once I get this, went out to Rural King and got this Goodyear hose reel with another 50 feet of hose. That's what I need, more hose. I've got enough hose to stretch the length of a football field. And I changed out the pressure switch as well. The old style pressure switch on that tank was 95 to 115, and I switched that out. And this is the sound of concession. I love that sound. That's 115 to 150. Those tanks are 175. So let me get back to this deal here, because I don't want to make this too long-winded. The 10-gallon tank, 5.5-gallon tank, will operate this half-drive impact for probably 30 seconds before it really starts failing. Once I put a 90 line regulator from the tank to this tool, I can set it at 90. I can leave the regulator to fill the tanks up, cranked all the way up. So you can get a good 30 seconds of use out of this, which really, in all practical purposes, should be enough. And I could pretty much run the 3/8 with a quarter. This is a 3/8, this is a quarter. I can use this 3/8 with a quarter, you know, probably for a good minute and a half, 2 minutes before it starts to lose the CFM. So the ones that I'm really going to need the flow on are the high flow tools, the scalers, especially the Harbor Freight scaler. It takes a lot of air, as well as the die grinder. The die grinder I've been using here in these pockets, and also with a wire wheel to get these GM rims straightened out. This is a perfect example of GM quality. On the Verse, they're beautiful, immaculate. And back here, the delamination of the chrome. I mean, it was pockets. They were pillows of crap in there. All four of them were like that. It was amazing. So, you know, they cleaned up really well. I've got this band here on the outer of the rim, so that I can put sticky weights on it. I just hate having weights hanging off the end of the front. So I'm going to get this cleaned up. To the last one I got to do, but that's what I'm going to need the big air for. And what I was trying to do is avoid the 220 service that I've got coming in. I've got it spliced off of my air conditioner out there coming into the garage here. And in the summer, you got to turn the AC off to use the compression for the 230 volt. But this thing here is 110, so I'm 99% sure that most of my stuff I'll be able to deal with these two things. But hell, I really don't need to now, because now I've got two compressors, got enough air to blow anything away. Blew me away, this whole deal on the learning curve. It never fails to amaze me just how ignorant I am sometimes. But it was a lot of fun. So replacing these, I had to leave. This is the run capacitor took me about 2.5 weeks, no matter where I went to get it. It was e-replacement, Jack Small Engines, Amazon, even Makita. They had to send to Taiwan for the run capacitor, which is $90. It took about 3 or 4 days to get the star capacitor, and that's what I reached out for first. I changed it out, and this thing is supposed to run at 3740 RPM, and it was going tukka 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 tukka. So it was trying to do the whole damn thing on the start capacitor. So I reached out and got a run capacitor, and now it sounds like this. Back to normal. It's a big difference from that that compressor up there underneath the belt drive, but I don't care how noisy it is. The detached garage are where it plugs. Everything else is muy buen, and we're good to go. So that's my redo. I've got the 3/8 orifice here and a quick disconnect and a quarter there. And I'll tell you what, I've got some high flow connectors I'm going to hook up to this tank up here, and so I can get her done. It's the descaling I'm going to have to do on that undercarriage underneath the on the Escalade. That I'm going to need that. These don't really work that well on that issue up there. I've tried them, so it's a bunch of wasted air. But as far as the Makita goes, just don't overtax the capacitors. You'll be just fine. I'm sure the 10-gallon tank and the 5.2-gallon tank will respect the 50% duty cycle. But I wouldn't go with any more volume than that. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thanks.